welcome to another episode of Tell Your Story. I'm your host, Todd Nesloney, the Director of Culture and Strategic Leadership for TEPSA, and each week I look to bring you a different guest who has encouraged, inspired, or challenged me in one way or another, and invite them on to come tell pieces of their story in hopes that it encourages you to get out there and tell your story. I am super excited to have my special guest on tonight, Courtney Hinshaw. Courtney, tell everybody a little bit about who you are.
Hello, I am Courtney Hinshaw, and I live in Orange County, California, and I teach third grade. And let me tell you, I teach third grade as of August 22nd. I'm usually an upper grade teacher. I've taught fourth and fifth grade my whole professional career. But this year I was like, you know what? I think it's ready for me to take a jump. And I took a huge jump, and now I'm teaching third grade. I love them so much. They're so cute. And hopefully I'll get to talk a little bit more about Open the Magic Day. But like, they blew me out of the water this year, and it was like the best day of my life. Let me tell you a little bit more about me. I have a master's degree in reading, and I know Todd and I will probably talk about this, but in third grade, I was diagnosed with dyslexia, and it has really taught me to be so compassionate with my students, but also to share my story. And for so many years, I didn't say anything because I didn't want to be like, oh, well, that teacher, they have dyslexia. And I finally have come to say, you know what? I'm really proud that I have dyslexia, and I can help so many kids, teach them that reading is fun, and let me show you how to do that. So it's all about me. And also, if you're an Arizona Wildcat, so am I, and I'm very proud of it. So bear down, and let's get this party started.
I love it. Well, Courtney, I have been a big fan of yours for a while. I've loved following your all your social media that you share out there, all the goodness that you put out there. But what really drew me to you on another level was when I read that blog post about you suffering from dyslexia. And I'd love to jump into that a little bit. And so, when did you find out that you had dyslexia? How old were you?
I was in the third grade, and I would always come home, and like my mom would be reading to me, and she'd ask me a reading comprehension question, and I'd be like, Mom, I don't get it. Like, I literally did not get it. She would read to me, I would read to her, and I was just like, it's not there. Like, nothing. Like, the light bulb's not on. My brain is like nothing. I would tell her, like, it's blank. And so my mom was a high school English teacher, and my dad's in business, and education was super important to them. And so they're like, we're not going to let our little girl suffer. And my older two sisters, my oldest sister probably got it perfect on her SAT. And then the middle one was just really good. She was a good student, but she was really good at just like, I'm going to say it, she's really good at BSing things. Yeah. And I wasn't. I had to study. I had to work hard. All those things. And so my parents were like, you know, something's off. Let's get her tested. And so I was tested in the third grade. And my mom to this day still tells me, it's not that you couldn't do it, Courtney. You just needed a little extra something. And so that's what I got. I got tested to find out that I just needed a little extra something, and then I could do it. And that was like a game changer for me. My parents got me tutors. I got extra support in school. And now I have a college degree, a master's degree, and I'm teaching in one of the best districts in the United States. So I just keep saying, like, power through. And if you're a parent out there watching this, like, I will tell you, it will be okay. And you have to celebrate the little things. My parents would celebrate the little things with me, and then they did turn into big things. But sometimes you have to start with the little things to see that big thing or that big light bulb moment go off, because it will.
Yeah. So, you know, you didn't find out until you had dyslexia until you were in third grade. What was your reading life like at that point and moving forward? Like, were you one of those? Because I know there's a student that's really close to my heart that I know he's now in sixth grade, and he hated reading. And when he found out about the third grade that he had dyslexia too, it was a long process to get him to trust that reading wasn't something that was impossible to him. Even when he knew that he had an issue that he could work through, he just had that animosity built towards it from all those years of struggling when his friends didn't. What was your journey like with that kind of thing?
There was a lot of animosity because I had sisters who never struggled, and then I struggled. And I, you know, to this day, I struggle with, like, I don't feel like I'm good enough, or because, you know, I might not get it as fast as others. But here's the thing, like, my creativity is mind-boggling. The people who tested me said to my parents, like, she might have this dyslexia and auditory processing disorder, but her social skills are off the chart. And so that's what I focus on. And I think about that. And I take those gifts that I have and I put them into reading. My parents made reading really fun for me. So while maybe I couldn't read, I love to be read to. That's actually a great tip. So if you're a parent or a teacher out there and you're looking for ways to help your dyslexic kids, listening to audiobooks, there's a new service out that I'm seeing all over Instagram called Books. Epic. Have your kids read it and please listen, just because your child's dyslexic does not mean they're not smart. They can do it. They just might need a little extra help. So I could comprehend when somebody read it to me versus me reading it because I was trying so hard to get the words that I would lose the meaning. So when people would read to me, I was like, oh, okay, I get it. And my mom, we would do library trips. She would buy me picture books. All those things brought me to love reading. My teachers made reading come alive in their classrooms. So that's why I'm so passionate about Open the Magic Day, which I know we'll talk about later. Having author visits in my classroom, doing read alouds myself. I do one every single day, picture book and a chapter book, because kids need to see that reading is going to take them places. And we all know if you can't read, life's going to be really hard for you. So
I love that you can just feel the passion coming out of you. That's what I could just see. You're just like, I need to get up and move. Like I'm so
I
tired.
need to go dance or something.
Well, I want to now at some point you decide that you want to be a teacher. And so you pursue your college education, and then you make that decision that you want to be a reading teacher. Was that a very conscious decision on your behalf? I knew that I struggled. That's why I want to teach that. Because I think about my own path. I became a math teacher, and I specifically chose math because math was so hard for me in elementary that I knew those were the kind of kids I wanted to change their mindset over that subject. How did you lead up to being a reading teacher?
So when I was in second grade, we always had family dinner together, all 5 of us. That was very important to my parents. And so one night, one of the questions they asked is like, oh, well, what do you want to be when you grow up? And both my sisters, I don't really remember their response, but they're in business. And my parents get to me and I'm like, this is so my personality. I stood up and I was like, I'm going to be a teacher. And they were like, okay, coming down the line, that's what I was. And I got my master's in reading because back then when I got it about, let's see here, how old's Jaden? I based everything off of Jaden because my sister had him like right when I was finishing my master's. So he'll be 8 in May. So in May, it'll be 8 years since I've had my master's. And I said to my parents, I really want to get it in reading because I want to give back, but I also want to know, and this might I don't know how this is going to come off, but when I was learning, I'm not going to lie, I memorized everything. That is how I got through school. And so there's certain ththings I don't know why certain things are the way that they are. And so I got to go back and learn why that sound makes that sound, why the TH makes the sound and all those things. And now I can take all that knowledge that I have to help my students. And while I teach all subjects, reading is my favorite hour of the day. And I'm always nobody can take my reading hour. It's the best because let me make kids love reading. And I've had many families tell me my child hated reading until they got to your class and now they love it. And that's the best compliment anybody can give me.
Well, I love, Courtney, your vulnerability that you showed when writing that post and sharing a piece of your journey. And I'm sure, did you ever deal with, or do you ever still find yourself dealing with those moments where that doubt starts to begin to creep in again because of past struggles, or that fear of these parents are going to judge me because I said this, or these staff members are going to think that I'm not going to be a good reading teacher because I have dyslexia? Do you ever still battle that, even though you've got all this success and proof that you know what you're doing? Do you ever see that label coming back to haunt you?
Absolutely. And so funny you say that because I'll never forget. I was sitting in my apartment. It was a Friday night in February, and I was just like, you know what? The world needs to know my story. I sat on my computer and I typed, and I'm not kidding. I typed for 5 hours and did not stop. I think I finished at 2 a.m. or something. And the next day I called my parents and I go, I'm coming over and I'm going to read you my story. And I want you to tell me what you think and if I should put it on my blog because this is a huge step that I'm going to do. Okay, I'm sitting on my feet and my feet are about to fall off. So I need to, okay, there we go. And so I go, I'm going to read it. So I Called my parents. They were at coffee. They came home. And by the way, I'm at their house right now with this lovely furniture behind me. And I said, okay, I'm going to read you this story. And I want you to be completely honest. And if you know me, sometimes true love's hard for me. I'm a little sensitive. And I go, Dad, I want you to be super honest. And they were both like, wow, are you sure you want to do this? And I said, yes, I do. And my dad asked me why. And I said, because there's so many kids out there that need to know that teachers are not superheroes, that they're just like them, and that parents need to know it's going to be okay. And while it might feel really like awful and that you're alone, you're not alone, because there's so many other people out there to fight for you. And I think that I am very open about my story, and it feels good. And it feels like I can help others. And that's what my mission in life is to do, is to help others. And at school, it was, it's hard for your colleagues to know, well, oh, wow, she has dyslexia. And in fact, I had to be really open with my new team, because doing OTRs, which is like a running record, that is super hard for me, because as kids are reading, my brain cannot connect with what they're doing, plus do the checks, plus all this. And I had to say, like, I need help. I need help doing those. I can sit with them, but I need help. And that was huge for me. But I think it's important to know that I'm not perfect and that it's okay, but I'm still a good teacher.
Well, I mean, I don't struggle from dyslexia, but reading your post, I was just so drawn to the vulnerability, because I think of our kids, and so many kids are identified at a young age. Not all of them, but when you have any kind of label attached to your name, immediately you begin to judge yourself completely. And so the more kids can see that, look at this successful adult, look at this person doing this or that, like, that doesn't have to define who you are. You open up kids' eyes to so many things. And as Andrea Keller just put,
yes, I was going to tell you that I forgot.
Hey, how convenient we're having this conversation. When you think about, your journey and sharing this and being vulnerable in public and the posts and everything, is there one kind of comment or response or person that really, when you think about the feedback you've gotten, one thing that really sticks with you from that vulnerability?
Yes. And I wish, so there's an incredible, somebody wrote it on my Instagram, and I'm going to see if I can pull it up, because my mom, she's so cute. She always is on my Instagram and always reading every comment. And we call her, back in the day when Facebook was really in it, she would go and say, oh, you have this many likes today. So we'd call her the FSQ, Facebook Statistic Queen. And so now she's the ISQ, the Instagram Statistic Queen.
I love it.
Okay, I'm trying to think. Okay, I think it was right here. Oh gosh, no. Anyways, I want to find it, because it was just so, I read that and I was like, wow, that just made my day. Oh, let's see if I can find it. Oh, I don't know if I can find it. Oh, wait, no, here we go. Let's see. I am not being a good finder of this right now, so I think I'm going to have to not find it. But a teacher had said that they had been teaching for 25 years, and they were so thankful that I put this out into the world to show my vulnerability and to show her and her students that no matter who you are, as long as you try, you're going to succeed.
Oh, I love that.
I know.
So, I love that all the things that you do now. You're very active on social media. Was that a scary place for you to go and start sharing things out there?
Well, yes, anything you put out in the world is scary to share. But again, I keep telling myself, okay, what's my purpose? Am I doing this because I just want the notoriety? Absolutely not, because that's not my personality. I'm doing this because I want to help others, and I want kids and other people to know that they're not alone. And because of putting this out, I've met other teachers who, I get distracted by the comments on the side, who also were dyslexic, or, I've gotten so many letters from parents saying, thank you so much for sharing this. I was feeling so alone. I'm trying to help my child, and it's a knockdown, drag out fight every night getting them to read. And I just said, slow down. Do not beat yourself up. Read to your child and just let them love reading. Mostly when they're younger, they need to build that love of reading, because as you get into college or even in 6th grade or 5th grade, some of the text that we read is boring. And if you don't love it, it's going to be a long road. So.
Well, okay. So I'm going to ask you a question, then I'll follow up with why I'm asking you this. Do you get called Ramona a lot? Because
Sorry.
Because your Instagram handle is Ramona Recommends. And so do you have people come to you and be like, oh, Ramona, it's so nice to meet you. And you're like, actually, my name's Courtney.
So yes, all the time. And so funny because last year at Get Your Teach On, it became a running joke. And so I even had a shirt that said, it's actually Courtney. So my name is Courtney. But I do always answer, like it's just funny because I get a lot of messages that say, hey, Ramona. And on my Instagram it even says, hi, my name's Courtney. That's okay. But I'll always reply, open the magic Courtney. And then someone will write back and be like, oh, I'm so sorry. I thought your name was Courtney. Or I thought your name was Ramona. And I'm like, no, it's actually Courtney. But I got the whole idea. My favorite author is Beverly Cleary. And I am the youngest of 3 sisters. And I am the Ramona. Like, I wanted to be in all their stuff when they were younger, or we were younger. I would take their clothes. I was just a little quirky, like just a cute little kid bouncing around. And so I had to do Ramona Recommends. And I love alliteration. So that's how Ramona Recommends started.
It's so awesome. So we've mentioned it a couple times, but I want to dive into creating the magic. So tell me all about where this came from and then leading up to the actual event. Because let me tell you, I was really mad I couldn't make a trip work to come to that event because it looks so cool. So tell me all about it.
Okay, so about, I think, Open the Magic Day started like 3 years ago. It was during a summer, and I was like, I want to make a day that celebrates picture books.
Mm-hmm.
And then fast forward to now really Open the Magic Day is so much more than picture books. It's to celebrate picture books, but it's really to celebrate the love of reading and to celebrate the silent, struggling reader, because that's who I was. I didn't want anyone to know that I was struggling with reading as a kid, even though I'm sure they all knew because I was in the low group for everything. And I just didn't want to know. And so I wanted to make it a awareness out to the world that we need to make sure we're meeting those kids' needs and showing them how amazing books are and how they open the magic. And so I came up with this event last April where teachers would come from all over California or wherever, and we would talk about books. And last April was the first time I shared my story publicly. And that was so great and so fun. But then I decided I wanted to bring other teachers on. And so then they shared how they use picture books in their classroom, which was the one we did on September 21st, which then led into Open the Magic Day. So I would love to see it go even farther than it has gone. I'm so happy with where it has gone. Even if one person did it, I would be happy. But it's really a day for teachers to open the magic in their classroom and do fun activities that get kids excited about reading and feel passionate about it. So for example, in my room, we do like every kid gets a picture book and we do a fun little selfie with it. I have authors call in and leave like messages for the kids. Josh Funk, the Friday after Open the Magic Day, he does a virtual visit with whatever grade level I'm on. And so he just did one with the 3rd graders. And then we just booked for next year. And the most amazing geek out thing is it's on Open the Magic Day next year. So September 25th is on a Friday next year. So I'm super pumped. What else did we do? Oh, I brought in cookies. It said Open the Magic, and they read with their buddies this year. I read my favorite stories. My principal came in. I wore my Open the Magic shirt that I wear and I sell. Just all these things. And the kids they had the best time. I got so many emails from parents saying that was the best day ever. I had a little girl come in that had a shirt that said Open the Magic, and that filled my bucket. I could not get over how excited they were. I decorated the tables with confetti tablecloths. I did a book raffle. It was a day of just reading and fun. And I came home so happy and so tired that I went to bed at like 7:45.
I believe it. Well, Courtney, one of my things too with you is you and I got to hang out the other day when I was in California, and over dinner we were going back and forth of me trying to find a picture book you didn't already have or didn't already own. And let me tell you, that was hard. I think I got like one out of I listed like 100. Oh, I did get 2? Well, I mean, I was pulling up everything. Like, do you have this one? This one? You're like, yep, yeah. Oh, yeah, I got that one. I'm like, dang it, she's got it all. So if people are listening right now and they're thinking like, ooh, what's one of Courtney's current favorite picture books? What's one you're really loving right now?
Oh my goodness. So I'm moving right now. And so all my books are in storage. And so I have like nothing. And then I didn't realize like how much I actually use my books, because every day I'm like, oh, do I have that? No. Do I have that? No. And then I like email my staff, like, does anyone have this? And they're like, no, Courtney, you're the only one that has all books. But I would say, oh my gosh, I have so many favorites right now. But one that I love so much, because I feel that, and I don't know, but I feel in the world right now, there's so many books about girl power, which is incredible. Awesome, awesome, awesome. But I read this one book, and I already can see by your face, I think you know what it is. And it's about empowering boys to be who they are. And I love it. It's called A Boy Like You. And I love it so much, because I think of my nephew, Jaden, and I think about how he's super sensitive. Like, we talk about how he's going to get his heart broken. Well, my sister's daughter is going to break hearts. Like, he is so sensitive, and that's okay. Yeah. And oh my gosh, he is such a love, and he'll always, so my niece and nephew call me Mona for Ramona, because they couldn't say Ramona as kids, so it's Mona. And he'll come in and he'll see me sad or something, and he'll be like, Mona, it's okay. And I just love that. And we need to celebrate that every kid is different and every boy is different. And it's okay if we have sensitive boys and boys who play sports. Or I have a kid in my class this year that does ballet. I got so excited. We were doing ballet poses today in the line. And I just love how that book celebrates so many different kinds of people, and even the cover, how there's so many different kids on there and different disabilities and ethnicities, and I just love it. So I would say that's a great one. Zoila's Elephant is a really great one that I love as well. That was another one I read on Open the Magic Day. Oh gosh, what else do I love? Let me look and see what I posted.
Well, I love that you brought up A Boy Like You, because if anybody's been watching all these episodes, they know I bring that up probably about every other episode. I give that book away at every presentation that I do. I bought like 40 copies because I just love it so dang much. And Frank Murphy actually interviewed him on a previous episode of Tell Your Story. So if you're listening and you want to hear more from the author himself, you can check out a previous episode of Tell Your Story too. But you know, what I love about you is I feel like half our dinner that we had with those other people there was like talking about books, and we were just so excited. And I love that you're one of those people that exactly how you portray your love and compassion online is how you are in real life. And I really respect and admire that so much. And one of the things I want to ask you, I've got two questions here wrapping up, and one of them is, I talked about, we touched on a little bit earlier, but I want to kind of dive in a little bit more. You spread so much positivity. Your social media is such a light out there. You're such a light when you share things. But I know you've got to have your down, dark days. And so how do you keep that doubt from taking over and bringing you completely down?
First and foremost, I'm a Christian, and I pray, because you have to give it up to God. As my parents tell me, God does not need a vice president, even though I would totally be a good one. You have to. I have to. And I have to, pray and follow Jesus and know that even in my darkest days, that he's there walking it with me. Like, I'm not going to lie, totally transparent. Today was a day, since 7:30 this morning until I got home at 4 o'clock. I was like, I don't know if I'm going back tomorrow. I mean, I am, and I love it. What I told myself as I was walking out to the parking lot tonight, I said, you know what? You survived. You made it, and you love those kids. So job well done. And I think we all have our moments. And as you all know, my personal life right now, my mom's very sick. And I have put a lot of my heart into my work, because that's what gets me through the hardest times. And you have to find things that will do that for you. I also work out a lot. I go to Orange Theory. On Monday nights, I hang out with my friends and we eat chocolate coconut ice cream. And you have to find things that will fill your bucket. I will tell you, I was talking to my colleague the other day, and I said, I love teaching fifth grade so much, but seeing how excited the third graders were for Open the Magic Day, that filled my bucket beyond belief. And that made every day that's maybe not perfect worth it. Right. And so I just will say, my best piece of advice to you is to find happiness in everything you do, because there's always something to be grateful for. Walk with Jesus and know what you're doing. You're changing the lives of so many kids, and you are making this world a better place.
I love that. That's brilliant. Well, one question that I always love to end all the conversations on with my guests is, this doesn't have to be an education question. This can be just a life, anything. If there was one thing that you wish more people knew or understood, what would your one thing be?
Oh my gosh, why couldn't you let me prepare this? That everybody has a story, and that we all need to be graceful, listen to others, and to love yourself, because if you don't love yourself, it's really hard to love other people. And to just know that, oh my gosh, if I could say one other thing, I would say that be the person or be the teacher who makes your kids smile when they leave your room every day.
I love that. Well, Courtney, like I said earlier, you are a bright light. You are full of positivity and brilliance and creativity, and I learned so much from you. And so I was thrilled that you agreed to take some time out today. So thank you so much for sharing some of your story and sharing some great book recommendations and all kinds of stuff tonight.
You're welcome. It was so fun, Todd. And by the way, if you don't know Todd, which I'm sure you do because you're watching this, but he is an incredible person. I got to really get to know him this summer, and he is such an amazing person and has the best heart. And I'm so happy that I got to do this with you, because you are one in a million and you are changing so many people's lives. And it's just so fun to be a part of your journey as well.
You're too sweet. Thank you. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for listening or watching another episode of Tell Your Story. Remember, you can check out all the past episodes on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, YouTube, wherever you want to get it. I put it there. I hope you've enjoyed tonight's conversation with Courtney, and I hope that she has inspired and encouraged you the way she has me. And I just hope that her sharing tonight has inspired you to get out there and tell some of your story, because like I tell you every week, every story matters. Have a great night, everybody.